Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin.
And 15 PCA.
And this is our review for episode 12 of the Orville Idolatry.
Yeah.
I right out the gate, weak episode.
It was a
not
weak
bad.
episode. It's not bad. Again, we could say the first season did not have a bad episode. I'll say that. But this episode, was okay.
It's my second least favorite episode.
Yeah.
I can easily say that.
I like the science behind it, but everything around it was
all the setup and everything. Well, okay, we jump right in,
Yeah.
and it starts out with a funny situation. It's like, I guess, like a late shift. Captain Mercer's like, off the bridge, and he's trying to find someone to hang out with.
Oh, basically, yeah.
So, he's knocking on doors and, hey, what's up? Checking in, knowing everyone's already like...
Malloy's like, going to sleep, whatever. Lamar's,
he's with a very attractive woman. Who's this lady on the Orville? I want to do a story about her.
She goes, oh, yeah, you can. And you can see Lamar in the background. He's like shaking his head. Oh, no, he's don't go away.
And then and I think the funniest of the whole part of the episode is he is it with Bortus, and they're like, oh, you can come and help me and Clyde and are going to have a drink. He can come with us. Like, oh, okay. He's sitting there, and this drink looks like thick mud.
Oh, yeah. And
then, you're like, oh, it ages. This is the perfect age of perfection. And Mercer makes a joke about, like, oh, this is what it looks like going in, when it looks how it goes out. And Connor's like, no, it doesn't go out. It, becomes a parasite in your body.
And I'm like, why is he even drinking it?
At that point, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah, Mercer's still drinking it. Like, what the heck's wrong with you?
And then, he's just trying to be personable. Captain Mercer's like, oh, so what do Mocklins do when they, have downtime? You guys play games or anything? And then Connor's like, well, there's this one game. I don't even remember what it was called.
Yeah.
That they play. And then they're like, oh, let's do it. He's like, no, this is not a human game. It's like, no, let's give it a shot. And they're like, okay, they go get it, and it's like an egg. And he's like, okay, the point of the game is I'll toss it to you, and then you have to toss it to somebody else. Yeah. And then we'll just keep passing it back for like a hot potato.
Yeah.
And then they start playing, and Mercer's like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, he stops and he has it in his hand, so what's the point of this?
And then a spike comes out of it and stabs it through his hand. So it's literally like a deadly hot potato. And then the Clyden and Bortus, they say the name of the game.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how you win.
Yeah.
When it blows up in your hand. What a horrible game.
Exactly.
And so he's in his quarters, and it actually sets up a lot of that loneliness.
Yeah.
You even see his quarters aren't even decorated.
No.
It's kind of bare bones. There's a bed, there's a couch, and that's pretty much it. So he's laying in bed, and then he dials up Kelly. And then I think the whole thing was he was trying to avoid her.
Yeah.
Because because if he starts hanging out with her again, and all those old feelings come back.
Or he's just trying to avoid loneliness in general. And he's just trying to find something to fill it up, basically.
And they didn't like the idea of they used to be married and everything. So he's talking to her, and I guess he's like, she's like, wow, what happened to your hand? Oh, this is game you play. And he explains the game to her. She's like, you should go to the sick bay. He's like, I don't want to tell Dr. Finn how this happened. Tomorrow maybe you sneak one of the things out of there.
Their regenerative, their version of that, yeah.
And then bring it to my quarters. And of course she's like, okay, I'll do that for you or whatever. And then you can kind of see that there's that little bit of that spark is starting to hit again between those two. So, we get on to the, he asks her, well, want to go get drinks. And then of course they go to the, their mess hall. Yeah. And it's all empty because she says them too, and they're drinking whiskey or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, jeez, they're drinking. And then, he brings up the whole thing with Derulio.
Yeah.
Well, if it really wasn't your fault and everything, I'm like, that's the part of the episode I'm like, oh, I don't really like this.
I don't like it either because I don't want them to get together, especially not now. I think it's too early in the show.
And then when that happened, I'm like, oh, please don't let them get, because I was saying it then, you can't have a real relationship like that on a ship with another crew member.
No.
Because you're going to compromise missions, you're going to...
Especially if it's a superior.
Yeah. See, Bortus and Clyden's a civilian.
Yeah.
So he's not part of what the goings-on. No. He doesn't go on missions. But if they're a couple and that's your wife, girlfriend, or whatever, she goes on to a dangerous mission, you're going to break protocol, which kind of comes up later on.
Yeah.
So then they start drinking. And it's like, whoa, we have to.
We're gonna chart uncharted space.
Yeah, tomorrow. So I don't want you to be hungover. Oh, and they just kind of laugh it off, and then it goes to the next day, and they're both sitting in their chairs, all with the hungover headaches, which is really funny because they're looking at this sun.
Yeah.
And then can he turn down the brightness? They're just don't want to deal with. Everyone's like, oh wow, it's so beautiful, and then they're just like, I'm sick of this crap.
Yeah, it's funny. Even Kim's even mentioned the Captain Lorca joke.
Yeah, because his eyes is too bright.
Too bright. I love that.
You should have used his little laser eye drops.
You know. Oh.
So they're there, and they're like, Isaac goes, there's a sensor anomaly. Something's going on over there. And then even Mercer's like, can we just deal with it tomorrow? Like, it's just like, I don't want to deal with this now. Yeah. And then Isaac's like, well, if it's there, let's study it. And, we're going to... He's like, fine. Take a shuttle, you, Kelly, and Lemoy, go down there. Yeah. And they're scanning it, and they're like, well, all these readings make no sense.
They're weird.
Then the next thing they notice, boom, the ship gets like, they're in atmosphere.
They're in atmosphere, like, what the heck's going on?
And they're starting to like basically crash.
Yeah.
And back on the Orville, they're like, there's a planet there now. Like, what the heck? What do you mean there's a planet there? It literally just appeared. Yeah,
it's like the episode on Deep Space Nine when they were in the Gamma Quadrant and they saw that planet that appeared out of nowhere. Yeah, it's like that.
So very similar. So they, Kelly and crew end up crash landing. And then there comes a little funny joke there too, and because Kelly's like, well, it's gonna be a couple hours to fix the engines, but then we can get out of here. She's gonna go look around, and then Lemoy's like, hey, just don't tell anyone the way I scream when I thought we were gonna crash. He's like, fine, okay, whatever. He's like, she screams like like a little girl.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kelly says, okay, I'm gonna walk around. Very beautiful planet.
Oh yeah,
kind of reminded me a lot of southern Arizona. Like there's some trees, but there's a lot of kind of desert type area.
Yeah, very much so.
And she's walking. She gets to the top of a hill and sees, there's a village down there. So there's beings. There's humanoids.
There's some kind of beings. Yeah,
and they're very they described as like Bronze Age. Yeah, so they got huts and fires and skinned animal clothes,
those kind of things.
So she's like, I'm going to get a closer look, and I'm like, oh geez, here we go. This is always going to end up bad. Don't ever get a closer look.
And Isaac was kind of telling her, is that a good idea? And she goes, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, and Isaac's like, you don't have to be so pissy,
Yeah, pissy.
Because he's trying to get some more of those human...
Vernacular,
the way I say things. And then even Kelly's like, whatever, And she's walking in, she steps on a twig, and two little girls here. And it's like, oh, geez. They run away. One little girl slips and, falls and hits her head on a rock.
Yeah.
And then she starts bleeding. And, of course, Kelly being... a good person wants to help this little girl. I'm like, oh geez, you're not supposed to interact.
You're interfering with these people. You shouldn't be doing this.
You need to be an observer, and that's it.
Yeah.
But of course, she's trying to help this little girl, and then tells her, me, Kelly, trying to come here and let me help you. Heals the cut on her head, and then I guess some of her village
come in and see what's going
see her,
on.
And then they see her she's wearing these weird clothes, and she tells the little girl, okay, you're safe. I'm out of here, and just runs away. Yeah. And you hear the little girl go, say her name, Kelly.
And when I heard that, I was like, oh, no.
And then I called it. I'm like, you know what? This planet, I bet you, when it phases back out, it's going to be a time thing. And they're going to advance. And then since that little girl said Kelly, that's going to start like a religion.
Yeah, it's going to start some kind of following. Yeah, like she's a deity or something.
And that's where this episode falls in pretty tropish territory. We've seen this storyline.
And we're not saying in Orville we haven't seen past episodes of Fall Storyline, but they said it in an interesting way. In this episode, it wasn't that interesting.
I didn't find it interesting, the fact that I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And once we found out it was a time episode, then we kind of figured out, remember that whole someone was going to sacrifice themselves from the last preview? And 50% pretty much figured it out right before, before it happened. So it felt like we knew exactly where this was going.
Exactly.
And this being the quote-unquote season finale.
But it really wasn't, though. That's the problem.
There's supposed to be one more episode in the season, but they pushed that to season 2.
I think that hurt it.
So this really hurts this episode. It's the last Orville thing we're going to see.
For 9 months.
For months.
Yeah.
So that really brings it down. Because we can stop the review now, and I guarantee you, without even seeing the episode, you can guess everything that happens.
Yeah.
So... that they're in that she goes back up to the Orville, and they're reporting to command saying, hey, there's a planet here. It has this weird phase where it comes into our universe, then it phases out.
Yeah, that's when they figure out when they get on the thing.
Then they're talking to Central Union saying, okay, if it's a 12-day wait, just wait for it to come back and then stay outer space and just scan them.
It was like I think 11 or 12 days.
Yeah, 11 or 12 days. And then, the call's over, and then Kelly's like, you didn't tell them I helped that little girl. Yeah. And Mercer's like, I didn't think it was important. She hurt herself, and I didn't want you to get in trouble. I'm like, there you go. There's all the problems are going to happen when you have a loved one or a lover or that kind of relationship on a vessel like this.
Yeah.
It's going to compromise you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, and that's universal, because that even compromised a Picard episode when he got with that science officer and he had to send him on that mission and he didn't want to do it. Yep. But you have to.
That's why you don't have those, especially when you're in command.
Yeah.
Like with Lemoyne, and he's like hooking up with probably some other girl in engineering, and that's doesn't have the same weight as the captain.
No.
Because you make decisions for the whole crew that could kill people.
Oh, yeah.
That could ruin missions, that can put planets in jeopardy and all kinds of stuff.
If anything, I think that was probably the most interesting point about this episode, is that aspect, as opposed to anything else.
So, lo and behold, guess what happened when the planet shows up again? It's at
700 years advanced.
700 years. So they are like Roman-esque.
Roman-esque. I would say Middle Ages. That lying around 13th century.
And it's very Roman Catholic-y.
Yes.
Because they get back down to the planet to check things out, and there's people that were basically crucified, but they're not on crosses, but they might as well be.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what happened to these people? And they're like, oh, they didn't believe in the light. And like, what's that? Oh, the light of Kelly. And there you go. She's like the Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, and a little bit before that, they steal some clothes.
Yeah.
And then a lady comes out and notices Kelly. Oh, please bless my baby. And then she goes there and she's like, oh, okay, There's a funny little joke. And was like, bless her son that he doesn't get any girls pregnant.
Pregnant and stay in school. Amen.
Amen. Those are the two things you need to do. Grow up, go to school, get no one pregnant.
Amen. It's funny.
And then, so everything from this on point is pretty much, you know what's going to happen. Then they get into the city center, and there's people being, these 3 men have been guilty of stealing, take them to trial. And like, it's out there in public square, and then they're watching, like, what do you mean? They cut everyone's hands, and if the god Kelly heals them, then they're innocent.
But they've never been healed, I guarantee it.
Yeah, so all these people basically, and then Kelly had to sit there and watch 3 men be killed in her name. Yeah. So she's like freaking out. And then Mercer's like, you can't do anything. Shut up. What are you going to do? Jump up there? And
yeah, exactly.
And then they kind of see all this stuff happening, and they're like, okay, we're leaving the planet. We can't stay here anymore.
Yeah. They go into a church, and they have a statue.
Yeah, and it's like stained glass window, very, very Roman Catholic. Yeah. And then, Kelly's like, man, I got to fix this. But they're like, well, nothing we can do. They get back to the Orville, report back to Union Command.
And tell them everything.
And tell them all the truth. And she's like, you didn't tell me one of your officers interacted with a primitive species. Don't you think that was important to tell me? And then, of course, Mercer's trying to play it off. And then, like, you can't protect your officers this way. No. They mess up or do something like this, you got to tell me. Thank goodness, Mission Command, Union Central didn't know about their relationship.
No.
Because if that came into, I guarantee you they would have took her off that ship.
Oh, took her off the ship, and I think Mercer would have been demoted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. They even told him at the end, you do this again?
You're washing toilets.
Toilets in Union Station, back on Earth.
And it's so funny. And then she's like, you're to not go back to that planet, and that's an order. And then he thought he turned off the thing, like, and then an order. And then she's like, what did you say? Oh, no. Kind of like when you think you hung up on someone on the phone.
That's funny. That's just make probably think that's funny.
It is like, oh, and he just hits the button. I'm sorry. And then, of course, Kelly feels like garbage. Not only did she affect a whole entire alien race, people probably in the thousands, if not tens of thousands, have been killed in her name.
Oh, yeah, already. At this point.
She risked Mercer's command. Yeah. All because she had to help this little girl. She shouldn't have done anything.
The only thing that's so interesting about this episode, you see it all in real time because the time difference. You can see the consequences long term of your actions.
So they go, you know what? We still have about 40 minutes-ish before the time phase. We're going to go back down there. So Mercer defies Union Command orders
again,
to appease his girlfriend. And I'm totally against that. He should not have done that.
No. I mean, the damage is done. What are you going to do?
Exactly. And what she had literally less than an hour.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is she going to do in an hour? They go back down there and she... it goes to, like, I guess this guy's like the Pope. He literally
he looks like the Pope. I mean, they could have got a different outfit, but whatever.
I'm pretty sure they just had Catholic costumes, and that's what they used.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you see this Pope guy, and they bring some kid in front of him. Oh, he was stealing from an orchard. We had to punish him. And, of course, the Pope-like character is like, is this true? Did this happen? Well, my family's starving, and, my mom's sick, and we haven't eaten in days. And they're like, well, since you're a stealer, we're going to cut your hand, and if you get healed, the merciful Kelly will heal you if you're telling the truth. Yeah. And he's like, no, that's not going to happen because everyone knows that God's not going to come down and save us. So they're going to take this kid away. Then probably in the dumbest way, they just like kick the doors down, and then Kelly like takes off her robes, and she has like her uniform. And then everyone's like, whoa, God showed up. Exactly. That's how they feel.
Yeah.
And of course, Kelly's trying to explain to them that she's not a god and she's just a person. And I'm like, You can't convey this in 30 minutes. In 10 minutes, you can't do it.
Especially at this level of development. They're still believing deities, and they still believe in that kind of...
mysticism almost.
Yeah, they're not advanced enough. You weren't going to convince them.
And then, of course, they all fall to their knees, and they're like, we're not worthy, you know, straight out of
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, right? And then she shows him, look, I'll cut my hand, and this is the thing I use to heal myself. Held her hand, and she's like, oh, we witnessed a miracle. She's like, no, you do it. And he cuts himself, and he gets the healing and heals himself, and he's like, she explains to him, it's just a machine. Yeah. I'm a traveler.
And then he figures, well, wait a minute. Well, how can a god bleed? Exactly, I'm not a god. And he starts to think. And
she tells him, tell the people that don't believe in me. And I'm thinking, this is where I came and think, oh man, maybe they're going to become like a reverse society.
Yeah, anti-religious at all
costs. Super anti-religious. And of course, this Pope guy kind of seems like a decent dude because he's like, the truth can't be suppressed.
Yeah.
And then like his archbishop, I'm assuming it because he's even in red, so it's very
like a cardinal.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like looking through the religious text, and he's like, well, we have to tell the people. Well, wouldn't that be dangerous? The people, it's not just a sense of comfort; it gives us power. And he's like, it doesn't matter. We have to tell them the truth.
So that was good. They were showing him that he was a good religious leader.
What if people still choose to believe? He's like, well, then that's their choice. Yeah. Then this guy's like, boy, I'm gonna make my own choice. Stabs him in the back.
We knew he was gonna do something.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, so the only one who knew the truth were those two guards. That cardinal guy and
again, he can't go against his pope, but he can go against those guards. You can say they're liars. You could just say that.
And the funny thing is, I wonder what he did with the body.
Oh, God only knows.
Exactly, like how that all happened. They get back to the Orville, planet phases out, then they have another 12 days.
And they're probably like at our level development.
Yeah. So they wait 12 days, it comes back, and they scan and realize there's satellites, there's television stations, radio stations. Yeah. They're at basically 2000.
Oh, yeah, 2000 something. Probably around our level, if not a little bit more advanced.
And then Mercer's like, do a scan and see if there's any mentions of the word Kelly. And it's all over the place. Yeah. There's even like a, big mega church, kind of, grandstander. Oh, the word of Kelly.
Yeah, TiVo Evangelist means 700.
Yeah, exactly. So that actually made me laugh because the guy's wearing the white suit and everything. It's the whole shebang. And you see like a news station. Oh, they want to teach the word of Kelly in school, and it's a secular school. And then you had the basic arguments about like Bible in class and all that kind of stuff. And you see all that. Of course, Kelly's like, I thought
and even had extremists like when we see like terrorists blowing things up in their name. She's like, oh my goodness.
There was a car bombing attack in this park that had a statue of Kelly, and so. Kind of all the conflicts we see in our world, like in the Middle East and, conflicting religions. But this seems to be one main religion versus a secular.
Yeah, it's so like that debate. There's not two religions competing.
Yeah, so it's not like Hindu and, Christianity and, it's nothing like that. It's literally just the one religion and no religion.
All for that one healing combined to cause this whole thing. And she's like, well, I got to fix this.
And she's even more distraught.
Yeah.
And they're thinking... She's like, you know what? I'm going to go down there and I'm going to fix it. They're like, what do you mean? You go down there? What if they just think you're a crazy person? Because how often is there some crazy guy saying, I'm the reincarnation of Jesus? And
now we're on the opposite problem. Now they're not going to believe you at all because now they're advanced enough saying, well, you could just make yourself look that way. See, now we're at that development. And in fact, you go there, you'll be dead. In 700 years, you're gone. You're not going to be here.
And then that's when EU called it, and 15 Priests even called it before this even came up. They're going to just send Isaac.
Yeah.
Because he's a robot and he can live forever.
Yeah, they say millions. That's what he said.
He goes, my construct can last 1,000,000 years. Yeah. Because I guess he's not going to, wither away. Then I'm like, oh, this freaking, they lied to us.
But again, was that McFarlane or was that the studio saying that, oh, someone's going to, go? Like, I don't like that because this show never has to use cheap tricks.
It was cheap.
It was cheap. It was a cheap trick. It was.
I feel cheated.
Especially for Orville, I don't expect. I expect this from Discovery, not Orville. It was just, it was Mickey Mousey in a way, elementary
stuff. They send Isaac down, and then it was a little sad because I just like, okay, and they're like, what are you gonna do? It's like, well, I'll talk to them and I'll show them the way. Yeah,
but it's 700 years, but to me that's like 700 seconds. He's
like, don't worry, because everyone's kind of sad. Like, you're still one of our crew members. He's like, don't worry about it. I don't perceive time the same the way you guys do. And of course, and it kind of made me feel a little sad because they're talking, and as they're phasing, Captain, the phase is happening. I'm not going to be able to communicate. And he gets cut off. Yeah. I'm like, oh, Isaac, oh, he's my favorite. So it's like, they're not going to see Isaac.
I was starting, I hope he doesn't get destroyed because...
Yeah, it was like, what if they just... Because I guess even bullets probably won't even hurt him.
What about a bomb?
Yeah,
I mean, there are people that are like in that world.
Man, that's so crazy. I would have loved to see some of that.
I would have been. I think I would have liked to see a little bit of that.
But that happened with seriously like 7 minutes to go in the show.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're not going to see any of that. It would have been cool to see some of that.
A little bit like throughout the years what he had to do.
Then we kind of theorized, what if he becomes their god? But I think Isaac was because some of you guys even floated this in our comment section with like an idea of an evil Isaac.
Yeah.
And he had the opportunity to take over society that's going to have crazy technology.
Yeah, because when they're coming back, they're going to probably be at the level of Orville or close to their level. So, yeah.
So, Kelly's looking out the window, and it's like 11-day wait. Talk about the longest 11 days of her life.
This is the longest one out of all the way, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. This whole episode, you add it together, they must have been waiting almost 40 days.
Yeah, over a month just floating in that area.
Yeah.
So, like, Kelly's just looking at the window, and then Captain Mercer's like, the phase is going to be happening soon. And so they get back on the bridge, and she's like... And even like Mercer like holds her hand because it's like breaking her heart.
Yeah.
I sent a crew member out there. I freaking ruined a whole culture
for
a planet.
We're talking for at that point for like almost 2,000 years.
Yeah,
I warped this.
I have warped a culture, and I feel horrible. The planet comes back into phase, and it looks hella cool.
Oh, it looks very advanced.
You see, like, these big green energy towers and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, oh, well, that's a cool-looking planet.
That was cool. That was one of the highlights, I thought. Like, oh, that's awesome.
And then...
The ship's very metallic-looking, too.
They go, a ship's coming into orbit, and it's hailing us. And the ship, I think this was a callback to the Flight of the Navigator. It looks almost exactly...
Shiny, metalish, yeah.
And that kind of that seashell shape.
Which was cool. I think it was a homage to the Flight of the Navigator, which is cool.
But, like, again, which I thought was kind of silly, too. It's like, oh, they're hailing us, and you want to come on board. Why not put them up on the view screen?
Yeah.
Like, they go, okay, give them permission to come on, and they teleport on.
Yeah, teleporting on something they don't even have.
And then you see, and they're wearing, like, all white, and they look kind of really cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we thought it'd be time to bring back your artificial life. And then you see Isaac, I'm like, oh, yeah, my boy's back. And, of course, Isaac, it's nothing to him.
They're like, oh, hi, everyone. And he just basically, oh, yeah, and then, so, you think I'm killing? No, you're the first officer, and that's the captain. Now they understand. That was just...
And I kind of like the message, but I kind of don't like the undertone message of it. It's just, I don't know. Then, like, they're sitting in the the meeting room, and they're like, Kelly's like, oh, well, what about the religion of Kelly? She's like, you don't have to worry about that. If it wasn't you, it would have been just something else. We evolved naturally, and we got over our differences, and now we have space travel, and... It's just something that happened.
And you see, in our universe, we're flying around. We're on the galaxy like you guys. We go around our galaxy.
Because when they phase back into their world, they have multiple outposts. So they're like, they seem peaceful.
Yeah.
And then they kind of, again, their clothes are like kind of glowy.
They have like black markers on their chin like they didn't have before. Like,
I kind of almost looked a little Egyptian-ish. I got a little bit. I know I'm just pulling that out of like visual context. And their clothes, first I thought of Tron again with the shininess of their clothes.
A little bit.
And then you get the whole like, oh, Isaac, what did you do? And Isaac's like, I didn't do much of anything.
No.
Because he loved the idea of watching a culture evolve in real time.
More, they're going to have a lot. When he goes back to the Kalon, they're going to have all kinds of information about
Isaac
society.
has a long report to write.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, 700 years of history.
Oh, I know.
And it's perfect recorded history.
I know.
So there's nothing. Isaac, and then...
But I don't know, it's weird. I know he's just a machine, but you probably developed relationships that lived and died that whole time. Of people, I don't know. That's a lot to
crazy.
Take in.
And so I agree with the message of we're going to grow as a society, but then like, well, is that they're saying that the religion's the reason why things were bad, and now we have no religion, that's why we're good? Is that what they're saying?
See, McFarlane has never went that way with his show, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but there is that underpinning. There's a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. Because I do like to overmention, it's kind of like a Star Trek. You're seeing a Star Trek episode of a society all in this short time.
Yep.
Which is good, but then the way they went about it, I don't know, I'm conflicted.
I'm conflicted on the message. I guess I'll take it the way I did, is the fact that humans... We will eventually overcome all of our differences and come to work together. That's how I'm going to take it. Even if it was intended as a secular, anti-religious message, I'm going to take it the other way. Just because, because they didn't come out outrightly and say it. I'm going to draw my own
again, and then maybe you could say I'm being a little biased here, but I'm going to give over the benefit of the doubt because they haven't gone that direction yet, like in a heavy-handed way. Like this Discovery, I totally think that's what they were doing. But since this is Orville, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt as long as it doesn't become a trend. In the other episodes?
Well, we'll have a long time to wait.
Oh, yeah.
What I would have done in this episode, because normally Seth MacFarlane in the Orville does a good job of showing both sides of something. Yeah. I thought when they told that Pope character about it, they would go so secular, and they had just same amount of wars, all the same kind of stuff.
That would have been better.
With or without religion, it still would have been bad. They kind of made it look kind of like without religion, everything's perfect. I don't know. Is that what they're saying?
I don't know. I hope not. I don't think so. But I think one thing I want to get back to I thought was interesting when Mercer, after all this, he says, boy, when you guys come back in 11 days, you're going to be more advanced than we are. You're probably going to be almost 1,000 years ahead of us.
But they only have a small window.
Yeah.
So if they even send out exploratory vessels, they have to come back right
I'm pretty
away.
sure in about another year, they're going to have technology where they can keep the planet in that area. I'm pretty sure it'll be so advanced.
To figure out a way.
They'll figure a way to, if they want to, they can go back and forth anytime they want.
And, to close out the episode, it kind of bookends itself. Mercer sitting in the mess hall with a drink.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Kelly, you want to get drunk and get a drink? And Kelly's like, no, we can't do this. And this relationship's not going to work, not because I don't care about you. It's because of the positions we're in.
You'll compromise yourself, and you already did.
And we already did. And I compromised the safety of the ship, the safety of the crew members.
Safety of Isaac? I mean, he was gone for 700 years.
The safety of Isaac and your job.
Yeah.
And my job. And you know what? From here on out, it's you're captain and I'm Commander Kelly and you're Captain Mercer. And, he has his drink and she's like, well, can I be dismissed? He's like,
yeah, and he's kind of, you know what? I agree with all that, what you said, but I still don't care. But it does. She's like, I can't.
He's like, I agree with you because he goes, when I'm honest with myself, I know you're right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the way I feel about you because the human emotions, mind and heart, are always in the battle, and sometimes the heart wins, sometimes the mind wins.
I'm glad Kelly did that though. She had to do that. She had to.
And I bet you it breaks her heart.
Oh yeah,
because she's hurting him again. She gave him a little bit of light and she took it away from him again.
And she cares about him, but again, she realizes, and I think Crimson was making an interesting point when we were looking at watching the episode. He goes, the only way they can work if she left the ship, and now she doesn't want to do that.
She was going to leave the ship.
Yeah, then maybe if we have to be together, I'll have to leave the ship. That has to be the choice. It can't be both. It's got to be one or the other.
I really thought that she was going to hand him a transfer.
But she probably wants to be around him. She cares, so it's like that weird
So
kinda...
I'm to bring up we brought up our last review about someone dying. I'm glad no one died, but I felt like I was lied to.
Yes.
That's why I don't like watching previews, damn it. I always skip previews, but people were telling me, oh, you gotta watch the preview for the next episode.
The person who told us, i.e. our brother, told us. Not the one who does a podcast with us, another brother.
He's like, oh, you gotta watch this thing. It's gonna...
And it was nothing.
And it came out to nothing, so... Dang you!
If I didn't see it, that wouldn't have had that preconception.
Yeah, I probably would have liked the episode a little bit better if I didn't watch the preview.
Yeah,
I guess that's my fault. Can I hold that against the show? Well, it showed it to me, so I'm going to hold it against the show.
Yeah, because the fact that they've, like I said earlier in this podcast, they don't use those kind of tricks. The Orville's never done that. Yeah. He doesn't need to. We don't need gimmicks. We just need good stories. And again, and it's not the last episode. That's what ticks me off.
It's not the real intended last episode.
I want to be so mad in the beginning and start season in September if that episode's really good. I'd be like, I wanted that to be the last episode.
So this is the last thing of the Orville we're going to get, and it kind of went out on a whimper.
For Orville standard, if this was Discovery, it's the best episode.
Yeah, it's the best episode of Discovery. Second worst episode, to me personally, of the Orville.
Yeah.
But because I saw where it was going, we pretty much guessed everything, and the whole anti-religion, I wish they would have showed both sides. Look at all the war and killing with religion. Take the religion out. Look at all the war and killing without it.
I kind of wish that Cardinal didn't kill that Pope, and that version of Pope went and told everyone they became secularists. I would have loved
and they
to see
still
that.
had wars and fighting and infighting because that's.
But again, what would have been the drive for Isaac to stay then at that point?
Yeah,
the green bouncy. That would have.
I would have loved to seen. That episode, and then maybe the next day, then the religion made a resurgence and set that pendulum.
But there's another thing exactly. But another always resurgence thing. But the thing that kind of had an underpinning of people are saying that Young Pink's the one that's going to die. Just the fact is, I know that I'm like, yeah, he's still on the ship. I'm kind of glad because I didn't want him to go, but.
It's so funny because the way his name's spelt and the way it's said.
Yampik.
Yamfit. I think it's a PH.
I just say pig.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's such an alien name. Yeah. It might be Yam. I think it's Yam Fit.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of money. He said to animate him, so only have him once every 4 episodes. You can
because he wasn't in this episode at all.
No, exactly. So
again, that's the end of the Orville for us.
Yeah,
for a while, guys.
A great series. They ended on an okay episode.
Yeah, this is the final game before the playoffs, and then I'm used to your all-star scoring 35 points, 10 rebounds. He had 10 points, 2 assists, and that's it. It's like
instead of that all-star team winning by 30 points, only won in basketball. They only won by 10. It's like, still won, but it's like,
hey, come on, what happened, guys?
But I'm not standing. I want to see what I saw last time.
I felt like I would love to see the the liner notes for this episode to see if there was more that they couldn't put in.
I kind of wish, since this was an isolated contained episode, this was an earlier episode in the season.
Yeah.
Give me Majority Rule to be the last episode. That would have been awesome. Or About a Girl. That would have been awesome.
See, I think they put it where it was because the relationship stuff. We saw the relationship breakup with Mercer kind of get healed, kind of come together, and they realize they have to break this relationship. Yeah. But that's so hard to do because they didn't break up because they didn't like each other anymore. They did it for, for the operation of the ship. I
have to stay on. If I'm staying on the ship, that's how it's got to be.
Are you going to tell your heart that the girl and the man you love is sitting right next to you and you can't do anything about it?
And then even had a little funny moment when they went on their date part when they had to wait the first time.
She was she looked pretty dang good in that little, it was a very revealing outfit.
Oh, yeah, like a gray, beautiful, like a dress you wear if you're going on.
Yeah, there's like a lot of holes in it. Yeah. She's showing off a lot of skin. She's a good looking
woman. And he
made
like a jelly sandwich and a peanut sandwich. Is stupid.
Yeah, like he cooked for her and then it was crap. And then he's like, whoa, I got a backup plan. People are jelly cheese mercers.
You probably got that from the replicator. You didn't even make it yourself.
Yeah, I can't visit Penny and jelly, right? He probably could find a way.
No.
So overall, I'm still going to stand by that this is my second least favorite episode. Still a 7. It's a C paper, but I'm disappointed because I'm used to A work.
I would say it's a 7.8, 7.7 because I do like the science aspect of it.
Like a trans
thing with the time thing. I just wish the other stuff wasn't in it. It kind of bogged. Funny, this is the opposite of the episode of the Connie because I thought the science was weak, but the characters were good. I think in this episode the science was strong, but the characters were kind of weak.
I think we could have gotten the Kelly Mercer, we can be together. Wait a minute.
Another episode.
In another way. If that not trying in tie in a religious angle or trying to tie in, all this other stuff that kind of came in. It's just, I don't know. So.
Wouldn't it have been funny, like you said, if it was a secular society and then Isaac goes down there to try to make it a balance at that point and then they become kind of like, like they did. Like, we figured both sides were kind of extreme, were wrong, and we found the middle.
We met in the middle.
That would have probably been the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'd have been happier with it, but.
Yeah, but I'm glad no one died, but I'm also irritated that no one died because I feel like I was, the wool was pulled over my eyes.
Yes, he had to say goodbye for 700 years, but in their time it was only 11 days or 12 days.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
Don't do that. Don't ever do that again.
And again, like we mentioned earlier, Kelly had a pretty revealing outfit, and then you pretty much saw a lot of the boob of that other girl in the beginning episode. There's a little skin there. And
in the beginning, you're like literally, okay, when Mercer went to the Lamar's quarters and he's with that chick and you saw she had her uniform done, nothing underneath, so you could see a little bit of like.
If she would have turn real quick, you would totally see. Full
yeah, you see.
So I'm like, that's kind of.
I mean, and then she had like a little thing that looked like a joint, like it smelled like Swisher Sweets with the joint.
Yeah, she was like smoking something.
And then Lamar's there, and the way Lamar, you see his chest and everything, he's nothing on like. If you would have said this is like in 2015 in Compton somewhere and his boy's coming over, I would believe it.
Yeah, lady.
You got a lady over, I gotta go, that kind of thing.
So, I don't have nothing much more to say about this episode. Yeah. We didn't delve too much into the science because it kind of explained itself. It's just a pocket of space. When it reaches over, it phases for a few hours and then it jumps right back.
I think it's only like 2 hours.
It's not very long.
No, it's not long at all. Like when they did that in the Deep Space Nine episode, it was like at least about 10 days and they would phase, but it would be phased and won't come back for 40 years, so... It was very different.
And with that big jump of 700 years, their technology is going to boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And what I was also thinking, maybe the planet comes back and everyone's dead. And Isaac's the only one left because they all killed each other with nuclear weapons or something.
Well, I was hoping for the best. I'm glad it was.
I'm glad no one died. It's funny. I'm a softie in that way because that would have been a sad. Yeah. He goes like, well, I tried to help them. They all killed themselves. But
another thing, when Kelly got mad, think about it, Kelly. Yeah, you're upset those people are being hurt like when they were in the Middle Ages development. But Kelly, they're going to be long gone when this planet disappears. So at that point, it wouldn't have mattered.
But you're seeing it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
It's easier to think about people dying when you don't have to watch them die.
That's true.
It's just one of those things, but you have to realize, dang, she messed up in this episode.
Yeah, she did. She messed up bad, real bad. I mean, I think if they had not messed up like that, they would demote Kelly. But again, they were more mad at Mercer because he lied to them. He didn't tell them.
It was a lie of omission.
Yeah.
They didn't ask him, did Kelly do anything? No, she didn't. So it's not that kind of lie.
But it's still a lie.
But he didn't put. It's something important that he should have said.
Yeah, you have to. So, and I think if he would have, do you think maybe she would have stayed with him? Maybe you could handle it. He realized Mercer can't handle it.
No one can. No man can. You're not going to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
though.
It's not something it's an impossible thing. But this is one of those things where they're going to still have little mini hookups and stuff because
I think down the thing they're going to eventually get together. But hopefully it's not until
later.
Season 4 or 5. I don't want it right away. I just don't.
Again, I'm pretty good. I really don't have anything more to say.
Again, I'm just mad that this had to be the last episode. Why couldn't this be in the middle of the season? It just really annoys me that this was the last episode.
Even the Krill episode could have been a better season finale.
Oh, yeah, that was
because you learn more about their enemy and like, oh, was it going to lead into more stuff?
Again, I'm not saying this wasn't a C paper. It was a C paper, but when you've been giving me A pluses, A minuses for almost the whole season, and you give me this, it's like, it's disappointing.
Yeah, especially this is right before summer vacation, too. So, like, your star student turned into crappy paper. It's like, oh, maybe he's thinking about his break.
Yeah, that long thing between fall, and it's like, and I look at it and I think about Discovery, this would have been the best episode. I'd be jumping for joy at an episode like this.
Exactly.
That just tells you how bad Discovery is. But I expect more to Orville.
So, we'll do a comments video next week.
Yeah,
there will be no new episode. And then the following week, we might do a top 10. Maybe break down our favorite characters or something. We'll try to keep the Orville ball rolling because I don't want people to forget. Because it is a good show. It deserves viewers. It deserves more praise than it gets.
And I'm just so mad at Fox for just letting this thing hang like this.
I mean, the tomato meter was like at a 23 or something ridiculous. It is far better than that.
Yeah, because unless you want to count this episode, it's not an HAW series. I'm not saying this is an HAW episode, but that's what they would have want more of from Orville.
It was more of a
older liberal.
Yeah, I don't like a liberal message, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It just felt to me a little like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
And since we saw it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to tell you this. Overall, this thing, you want to put 23 tomato meter, you better add another 60+% on that, 65. This is almost in the 90s. Oh, it's the first season? Great.
Season 1 is a solid A for me, a 9.0.
Oh, yeah. It's you can't beat it. It was sci-fi overall at its best. I mean, you can't deny that.
So, I guess I can ask a couple of questions to you, to our commenters. Do you think that Kelly was right in breaking off the relationship completely? I agree with her.
I do.
Because I would find it impossible to make this work.
Yeah.
Especially with him in command. It's just going to be awkward and weird, and it's just not going to be, it's going to be, oh, you're giving Kelly the, because she's your girlfriend, you're giving her better treatment than, other people on the crew.
And I know dang well someone like Malloy would bring that up, because that's how Malloy is.
It would at first you'd think, oh, it's my friend, he's happy, but after a while I'd be like, this is pissing me off.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I don't know.
You need to spend more time in the simulator Mercer. Just have fun there.
It just feels like I had so much more to talk about in the other episodes.
Yeah.
And this one I'm kind of trailing off, and I'm kind of feel like I'm retreading myself. Yeah. But I really don't have anything else to say.
No, I really don't either. We're just kind of saying our overall a little bit. Yeah. Our preview when we do that because we're gonna do that.
And then we the beginning of the year we have Discovery comes back.
Oh, joy.
We do have that Black Mirror episode. That's a Trek episode.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that.
We did a commentary on the trailer. We did find out some more information that. We were right in our assessment that guy in the Black Mirror is like capturing people somehow and bringing
he's bringing them into this world. Like, I wonder if he's like maybe in our Earth, like he's like a kid and he tries to get people like, oh yeah, you're okay, like in that Twilight Zone episode, and then he puts them in the world. So
we're still gonna have more sci-fi stuff. I'm just trying to. We're gonna definitely have more sci-fi stuff to talk about. Yeah. It's just a little bit sad that this is how we're gonna end. For now, a last episode for the Orville.
For such a long break.
Yeah, it feels kind of... I'm a little heartbroken.
Yeah, I am too. I want to see more, and it's unfortunate we're not going to see the real last episode.
Until September. Real season finale.
And I bet you it's going to be good. I know it's going to be. That's what's going to disappoint me.
So that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's about it for now.
Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment.
Go on our Twitter.
Yeah, make sure you hit us up on Twitter, C15 Podcast. We love hearing from you guys. Interactions is probably the main reason why I keep doing these videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there would be low interaction, then I feel like I'm not sharing anything with anyone. But I'm glad for every comment we have, even if you disagree with us, we love your comments. So
I will say for the most part, in the last few comments, we haven't had like really mean, hateful comments, which I'm glad. A
little bit in the beginnings, I think those are salty Trek fans.
Yeah, but I think now you can't deny this is not a good series. Eventually, you're just going to give up and not do anymore because you know it's a good series. What are you going to complain about?
So I've been your host, Crimson.
I'm F15 PCA.
Thanks for watching.
See you later. Bye.